If you get acid reflux often, you will become a heart attack victim. Okay, so acid reflux, what is that? Well, maybe she can't process her emotions, eh? You know what? You make me sick. Oh my God, you make me sick. I feel sick to my stomach every time, you know. I feel sick to my stomach. I just can't deal with this anymore, you know? Because if we don't process our emotions, it gets caught in our stomach. So that creates a lot of acidity. But you know what? You got to understand. What about the cookie sheets, the sugar? What about the bread? What about the donuts? Okay, what about the pasta? Okay, what about combining pasta and tomato sauce that's totally acidic? What about the snacking she does every night and the glass of wine? So all of this just creates this brew pot that creates this acidity. So then you get heartburn. Now, heart attack or fart attack. Did you know that over 90% of the people that get rushed to the hospital, am I right or wrong? They come in there with angina or tachycardia, but they don't have a heart attack. They can't find anything wrong with them. Why? Because the gas rises and puts pressure on their heart. And from absorbing so much fecal matter into their bloodstream, it's cutting down the oxygen and the minerals, the heart's going, did you ever, when you got really stressed out, you partied a little hard, could you feel your heart going, what do you think it's doing? It's going, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, right? Because it's trying to keep up, because there's not a lot of oxygen and a lot of minerals. So, yeah, and you know when people say, oh, I feel pressure on my chest, oh my gosh, it's gas. Gas rises, okay? Heart attack or fart attack. So if you can't dump it, your body will what? It'll store it. So if you don't want to cleanse gently daily, then your body's got to store it. And if it's got to store it, then you're going to have crystallization and scar tissue, inflammation and pain, and you're going to be on a diet, but you can't lose the fat because guess what? Do you know why people get fat? They only get fat for one reason. It's a safety mechanism to protect them from dying. Because your body creates fat so it can store the toxins away from the organs so that you don't have organ failure. And it will create as much fat as it has to keep you alive until you understand. The wallpaper effect, just like an onion, many layers and stinky. So I'll have people come to me and they'll be cleansing and it will be like they'll be into a cleanse for a year. Like I had a gentleman come to me and he was cleansing for a year on the tea. And like I tell everyone, the average person takes 9 months just to detoxify the colon. So when you go for a 2-3 week cleanse, what is that? Well, anybody can dump out a garbage can, but that's all it is. There's no tissue integrity. Your colon's a muscle. It's no stronger for that. It's just a little bit empty and it'll be filled back up in 2 weeks. So I had a gentleman and he was on my detox tea and it almost was a year. And he came into me and he said, I couldn't believe it. I haven't eaten those berries since I was at some island. That's the only place they were, these red berries. And he said, that was 15 years ago. And he was talking about all this mucoid that was coming out of his intestines because your body makes mucus when you're irritated and inflamed. So if you want to know where your mucus is coming from, that's a protection device. Well, the mucus must have covered the berry and it was locked in. And then what happened with the cleansing, it took almost over a year, but that took enough mucus off that that berry that was like a mummy wrapped came out. He couldn't believe it. He brought the berry to me to see. So just like your bowel, layer on layer, it strips away. Sorry, I'm going to go back. So I just want to show you. Layer on layer. So I'm going to tell you something. You ever see the rings of a tree? You can tell by how old they are. Well, you open up a person's bowel, you can tell how old they are, all the layers that they have, if you haven't detoxified or cleansed. Because people can go 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick of this dehydrated fecal mucoid crust. And that's built up over the years. So what you've got is you've got toxins going in that are locked behind. All this poop is locked behind this mucus. And bacteria, what does bacteria breed? Bacteria. One bacteria can breed millions. And behind all this mucus, it's trying to protect you, breeding all this bacteria that's getting in. So once we start to bring, so a person will be going along and it's like 6 months and they'll call me up and go, I was doing really great with the tea and now I can't even go, nothing will move. And I said, it's mucoid tar, you got to increase the dosage. Well, okay. And then another person calls up and says, well, I was doing really good and now I've had like diarrhea 10 times today. And I said, okay, just back off on the tea, because guess what? You hit an atomic waste dump. So they're dumping worms or a whole pile of fungus, right? So it's releasing, and all this old stuff that could kill them is coming out. And then I get people calling up, I don't know what's going on, but I just went to the washroom and my butt's burning. And I didn't even have anything like any hot sauce or anything. And I said, oh, yes, you did. But that was like 20 years ago. What happens is, when the waste builds up inside, you get ammonia pockets. And when the mucus gets released, those ammonia pockets release this hot gas. Your rectum is very sensitive. And that heat feels like it almost could burn your rectum. And it's just that. It's a release of the ammonia that actually is the acidity that could kill you. So people don't realize this. So that's why most people start cleansing and they get into huge trouble. Okay? Because they don't get the guidance they need. And when you build up a big dump and you try to do it on your own with no help, oh, I've got to read the box. You know, that's why it's always better to do a little bit every day and never get yourself into that kind of trouble. And remember what I said, that when I was telling you about the enema, let me go back. When you do an enema, and it's a soap enema, your rectum inside your anus will absorb things better than a transfusion. So that's why you want to watch what you put up there. Dr. Wolfe here. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. I have many more videos with life-saving strategies, tips, and tools for you to watch so that you may learn to master your life. Become part of our Doc of Detox family when you join the Healthy to 100 Club, and have the best day of your life.